Continuing where we left off. The Vegas Bridge, Part 1. Genesis Chapter 5, Grasping the Potential. As Neo and Trinity ventured deeper into the mystical forest, the air grew thick with anticipation. Sunlight filtered through the dense canopy above, casting ethereal beams of light that danced among the foliage. The path beneath their feet was soft and springy, carpeted with a lush layer of moss and fallen leaves. Strange, otherworldly sounds surrounded them, the chirping of unseen creatures and the rustle of leaves creating a symphony of nature's whispers. Trinity couldn't help but feel a sense of wonder as she took in the beauty of their surroundings. For a moment, she forgot about the chaos of their recent battles and the weight of their responsibilities. Here, surrounded by the serene tranquility of the forest, she felt a sense of peace she hadn't experienced in a long time. Neo, ever the adventurer, forged ahead with childlike enthusiasm. He darted between trees, his movements fluid and graceful as he explored every nook and cranny of their new environment. His eyes sparkled with excitement, reflecting the myriad colors of the forest around them. As they walked, they encountered all manner of strange and wondrous sights. Exotic flowers bloomed in vibrant hues, their petals shimmering with iridescence in the dappled sunlight. Unusual creatures flitted among the branches, their forms blending seamlessly with the natural world around them. Trinity marveled at the diversity of life in the forest. She had seen many strange and fantastical creatures in her time, but nothing quite like this. It was as if they had stumbled upon a hidden realm, untouched by the passage of time and untouched by the chaos of the outside world. Suddenly, they came upon a clearing in the forest, bathed in a soft, golden light. In the center of the clearing stood a magnificent ancient tree, its gnarled branches reaching towards the sky like outstretched arms. It exuded an aura of wisdom and power, drawing Neo and Trinity towards it like moths to a flame. As they approached the tree, they noticed a figure standing in its shadow, obscured by the shifting patterns of light and shadow. As they drew closer, the figure stepped forward, revealing itself to be a tall, graceful creature with luminous wings and piercing blue eyes. "Welcome, travelers," the creature said, its voice like the gentle rustling of leaves in the wind. "I am the guardian of the forest, sworn protector of this sacred realm. What brings you to these hallowed woods?" Neo and Trinity exchanged a glance, momentarily taken aback by the creature's presence. But they quickly regained their composure, stepping forward to address the guardian. "We seek knowledge and guidance," Trinity said, her voice steady and resolute. "We have faced many challenges in our journey, and we believe that the answers we seek may lie within these woods." The guardian regarded them with a knowing gaze, as if peering into their very souls. After a moment of silence, it nodded in understanding. "Very well," the guardian said. "But be warned, the forest is full of dangers, both seen and unseen. To find the answers you seek, you must first prove yourselves worthy of the knowledge you seek." With that cryptic warning, the guardian disappeared into the shadows of the forest, leaving Neo and Trinity to ponder its words. They knew that their journey was far from over, and that the challenges ahead would test their strength, their courage, and their resolve like never before. But as they stood beneath the ancient tree, surrounded by the quiet majesty of the forest, they felt a sense of purpose that they had not felt in a long time. Whatever lay ahead, they would face it together, as partners, as friends, and as guardians of the light in a world consumed by darkness. Chapter 6. Setting the stage. The sterile white chamber felt like a stark contrast to the warmth and serenity of the virtual beach they had just left behind. Neon lights hummed overhead, casting a clinical glow that seemed to seep into the very atmosphere of the room. Beads of sweat formed on Neo's brow as he settled into the holographic interface chair, surrounded by a web of wires snaking out from its depths. Trinity, equally focused and determined, adjusted her own rig with practiced efficiency. The recent events had only strengthened their resolve, reminding them of the importance of their training. The Vegas Bridge wasn't just a playground anymore, it was a tool for them to become something greater. "Ready, Neo?" Trinity's voice echoed slightly in the expansive chamber. Neo, his eyes closed as he centered himself, nodded. "Ready, Trins." The room filled with a deep, mechanical whir as the interface powered up. Beside them, a holographic woman materialized on a screen, their guide for this advanced training program. Advanced Multiversal Combat Training. Greetings, operatives, the woman's voice resonated throughout the chamber. Welcome to a simulated environment crafted to push your limits and sharpen your combat skills across multiple realities. Neo's eyes snapped open, a surge of adrenaline coursing through him. This wasn't just another training session. It was an opportunity to experience the challenges they might face in real-world scenarios. The screen flickered, and a holographic cityscape materialized before them. Alien skyscrapers loomed overhead, silhouetted against a sky lit by two blazing suns. Strange, otherworldly creatures prowled the streets below, emitting guttural cries that echoed through the simulated air. This is Xar, the guide explained. A hostile alien planet located on the outskirts of the known multiverse. Your mission: locate and neutralize the Xythian hivemind before it breaches dimensional barriers. Trinity flexed her fingers, a determined glint shining in her eyes. Let's get to work. With a surge of digital energy, Neo and Trinity were transported from the sterile chamber into the heart of the alien world. The Vegas Bridge wasn't just constructing virtual realities anymore, it was preparing them to confront the most daunting challenges imaginable. As they materialized on the alien planet's surface, a wave of heat and unfamiliar scents washed over them. The air was thick with humidity, carrying the tang of ozone and exotic flora. Neo's heart raced as he took in the surreal landscape, his senses heightened by the knowledge that this was no ordinary simulation. Trinity scanned their surroundings, her eyes sharp and alert. We need to locate the hivemind's central node, she said, her voice low but determined. It's likely heavily guarded, so we'll need to proceed with caution. Neo nodded, his mind already racing through possible strategies. The holographic training had prepared them well, but nothing could replicate the intensity of being thrust into a hostile environment with real stakes. Together, they moved through the alien city, sticking to the shadows and avoiding detection as best they could. The streets were eerily quiet, save for the occasional distant roar or the scrape of claws on metal. After what felt like hours of tense, nerve-wracking exploration, they finally stumbled upon a massive structure at the heart of the city. It pulsated with an ominous energy, its alien architecture twisting and shifting in unsettling ways. That's got to be it, Neo murmured, his pulse quickening with a mix of anticipation and dread. Trinity nodded, her expression grim. Let's finish this. With a silent exchange of nods, they approached the structure, their weapons at the ready. As they breached the entrance, they were met with a swarm of Xythian drones, their sleek metallic bodies gleaming in the dim light. The ensuing battle was fierce and intense, with Neo and Trinity fighting side by side against the relentless onslaught of enemies. Their training kicked in, their movements fluid and coordinated as they seamlessly covered each other's backs. Despite the odds stacked against them, they refused to back down, driven by a shared determination to complete their mission and emerge victorious. After what felt like an eternity of relentless combat, they finally stood triumphant amidst the wreckage of their enemies. The central node lay before them, its pulsating energy now dimmed and lifeless. Trinity let out a ragged sigh of relief, her shoulders slumping with exhaustion. Neo, though equally drained, couldn't suppress a triumphant grin. We did it, he said, his voice tinged with disbelief. Trinity nodded, a weary but satisfied smile playing on her lips. We make a pretty good team, don't we? With a shared nod of agreement, they turned to leave the alien structure behind, their steps heavy but filled with a newfound sense of accomplishment. As they made their way back to the holographic chamber, they knew that this was only the beginning of their journey on the Vegas Bridge. Chapter 7. The Birth of Creativity, Conclusion to Part 1, Genesis. Xar's oppressive atmosphere weighed heavily on Neo and Trinity as they navigated through the labyrinthine metallic structures. The screeches of the Xythian warriors intensified, and the duo found themselves surrounded by a seemingly endless horde. Neo's reflexes were pushed to the limit as he deflected blows with lightning-fast movements, while Trinity danced through the chaos with a grace that belied her ferocity. Despite their formidable skills, doubt crept into their minds as exhaustion threatened to overwhelm them. Just when it seemed they might be defeated, a familiar voice crackled through their comms, their holographic instructor from their swordsmanship lessons. Remember your training, rookies, the instructor's voice boomed, a hint of unexpected humor cutting through the tension. There's always another way. Those words ignited something within Neo. He wasn't just reacting anymore, he was strategizing. In his mind's eye, he envisioned the holographic cityscape, analyzing the battlefield for a potential solution. With a surge of determination, he slammed his fist against a nearby holographic billboard, unleashing a burst of digital energy. The billboard transformed into a shimmering portal, and before the Xythian horde could react, Neo and Trinity leapt through, the portal ceiling shut behind them. They found themselves on a platform overlooking a vast, cavernous space, with a pulsating sphere of energy at its center, the Xythian hivemind. The key to any hivemind, the instructor's voice echoed in their minds, is disrupting the central intelligence. But how? The sheer power emanating from the sphere was staggering. Trinity, ever the pragmatist, surveyed their surroundings and spotted a series of abandoned mining lasers scattered around the platform. An audacious plan began to form in her mind. "Neo," she said, her voice filled with newfound determination, "we need to overload it. But not with brute force." Neo's eyes widened as he grasped her plan. It was risky, relying on precise timing and creativity. Two elements that the Vegas Bridge had unlocked within them. With a synchronized nod, they sprang into action. Drawing on their holographic training and using the mining lasers as tools, they orchestrated a dance of destruction. They deflected the hivemind's attacks and redirected the energy beams, creating a dazzling display of light and sound that bewildered their enemy. Gradually, the sphere's defenses began to falter. Its pulsating rhythm quickened in response to their unpredictable assault. In that moment, Neo and Trinity weren't just warriors, they were artists, wielding the very fabric of the digital reality to paint their victory. With a final, coordinated blast, they overloaded the hivemind. The cavern erupted in a blinding flash, and when the light subsided, the pulsating sphere lay inert. The Xythian threat neutralized. Panting amidst the smoldering ruins, Neo and Trinity exchanged a triumphant glance. They had not only emerged victorious, they had forged their own solution, a testament to the power of creativity awakened by the Vegas Bridge. Exiting the holographic chamber, the once sterile white room now seemed to shimmer with possibility. Part 1, Genesis was complete, and they had not just survived, they had thrived. But this was only the beginning. The true test awaited them beyond the digital horizon. "So," Neo said, stretching his sore muscles with a grin, "how about we celebrate with a little victory concert?" "My treat." Trinity raised an eyebrow, a playful smile gracing her lips. "And what band did you have in mind, Mr. Architect?" "Well," Neo winked, "I was thinking something classic. How about the Beatles live?" As if on cue, the room shimmered, and the sterile white walls dissolved, replaced by a bustling concert hall filled with cheering holographic fans. A band materialized on stage, and the air hummed with the opening chords of a familiar song. Hand in hand, Neo and Trinity made their way towards the stage, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead, together. Enjoying the thrilling adventures of Neo and Trinity? Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to stay updated on their journey through the multiverse. Your support means the world to us. Want to take your support to the next level? Consider joining us on Patreon, where you can get exclusive behind-the-scenes content, early access to chapters, and more. Together, we can continue to bring you exciting stories filled with action, suspense, and creativity. Thank you for being part of our community.